What is up, everybody? As you can see, I'm traveling, visiting my mom, like I do every summer, for her birthday. But I still want to talk about Big Brother right here from my big bed. Um, like I said, was traveling today, so I missed a lot of stuff before Veto today. I did get to see that Keanu actually tried to make an even bigger target on himself as a strategy. I've been saying this whole time that Keanu is like coming into the game as a big target already, and he has made himself an even bigger target. But it was kind of nice to see him try to use that as like strategy because I do like the idea that it could eventually make him a shield because he is just such a big target. The problem is that Keanu's social game is such trash that that plan is not going to work even a little bit. But that was kind of all I caught before the veto. Now, the powers came into play at the veto, especially Keanu's anyway. Turns out his power was that a secret player from the past got to come in and play the veto competition as well, and if that person won, well, then Keanu gets the veto. That person was Kaycee from Big Brother 20, the winner of Big Brother 20. Uh, Always great at winning vetoes, she was. And this was no different. Apparently, she smoked the competition outside of maybe Adrian. I feel like they talked about Adrian being the only one that came close and would have won the competition if Kaycee wasn't there. But since Kaycee won, Keanu gets to have the veto and will be coming up the block, and thus Keanu versus Jimmy will continue. Now, we all know Cali also has a veto power. I'm not completely certain as to what it is. She either has to find clues to something to get it, like Survivor and their stupid powers these days where you have to earn the power, or she's going to have to play her own little game to win the extra veto. If she does, though, that means that Jimmy is in fact going to have to nominate two more people. Now, he is considering as his renoms Amy, Will, maybe even Ashley. Amy threw Jimmy under the bus last week, so anyone online crying that, oh, Jimmy's coming after her, and then Amy herself crying about it as well, calling Jimmy a mean girl, like, please stop. Jimmy has every right to put her on the block when he found out that last week she was trying to push him up on the block. So it's just a bad turnaround for Amy once again with the way she's kind of played. Now, the Ashley stuff I also kind of understand. Ashley annoys a lot of people in that house. She kind of annoys some people online I've seen trying to hate on her gameplay. I like watching Ashley on the feeds. I really do. And I think that she's a fun watch. She's messy, she's sloppy, she talks way too much. That is all very true. Um, she has some good reads though. She has clocked Mickey's power because she overheard Mickey and Morgan talking. She wants to get Morgan out of the game, and I can't blame her for that either because I think that would actually bring Mickey closer to her. She has a lot of right ideas. She doesn't always bring these right ideas to the right people, and that's where she gets sloppy. But I'm not going to hate on Ashley trying to play her own game, even if it's messy and sloppy. I find it very fun. And she's just very much a Sagittarius. She says a lot of things in the house that can come off as awkward or just bold. And that's what I love about Sagittarius. And it's not lost on me that she's very close to Pisces Amy. I'm a fellow Pisces. Nothing like Amy. At least I'm going to tell myself that. However, Ashley and Amy together are perfect examples of Sagittarius and Pisces together. Just two messy hoes doing too much. And that is what those two are giving. But yeah, in the past couple days now, Ashley said a lot of things. I loved when she pointed out Morgan's gray hairs. in front of Zach because Morgan's been trying to get close to Zach. I don't know if Morgan's actually into Zach. If she is, it sucks for Morgan because Zach is into Lauren. Although Lauren says Zach's not her type, it's just a bunch of people not into each other. There are starting to be stands online, younger stands. TikTok seems to love or are rooting for Lauren and Zach to become a thing. Hate it. I'm much more into the Cat and Morgan shipping that seems to be going up online as well. It's giving me some Love Island tease. You know, everyone on Love Island was delusional that Nick and Alondria were going to end up together, and then they did. So maybe it'll be the same for those two. Doubtful though. But anyway, back to Ashley. I like her game. I like watching her. She is sloppy. She is messy. But it's fun to watch for now. She could get on my nerves. I'm not going to say she's never going to get on my nerves. But just a bit ago on feeds, Mickey did protect, in my opinion, her with Jimmy. And, you know, I've said that Ashley's kind of trying to get Morgan out of the game to get closer to Mickey. But in doing so, she could end up throwing Mickey under the bus. And she's kind of onto Mickey's power. So that could throw Mickey under the bus. But it's nice to see Mickey saving her with Jimmy, or at least trying to, so that Jimmy won't put Ashley up on the block. And Mickey and Jimmy are pretty close, so that should work in Ashley's favor. Like I said, the other possible renom is Will. I thought Will did a good job covering his ass the other day. I was wrong. His vote is coming to look like it was very stupid. He and Ava had a lot of conversations before the vote about how they should vote. If he just would have listened to Ava, he might not be in this predicament now where like two sides of the house, although there's not really sides in my opinion, but two sides of the house now kind of see Will as someone they can't trust. And so that's a bad position to be into, and that could easily get him voted out if he does end up on the block. Because if it does come down to Will and Amy on the block, Rachel's going to still work overtime to protect Amy. And I don't know who's going to work overtime to protect Will. Although I think Rachel's going to get exhausted in trying to protect Amy when she can't protect herself. So I don't know if if Rachel's going to go as hard to protect Amy as she has been. So those are the possible renominations we might see if two people come off the block. It could be two of those people going up on the block. And, you know, I've seen people online trying to call Jimmy's HOH a failure. But if it's a failure, it's not his fault. Because he nominated the logical people. Keanu would clearly come for him. Cali would come for him. I'm trying to get Callie's name right. I always want to call her Emily still. I don't know what it is. But anyway, putting up two people that are coming after him was the logical thing to do. And I can't really call it a failure even if they both come off the block, because at least he flushed two powers on the same week. Because if he didn't flush those powers, they could still be in the game. So I don't think Jimmy's HOH is a total failure, even if he's not going to get out his target because of powers being in the game. Now, Rachel's wants Vince up on the block. And this is very smart of Rachel, in my opinion, because Vince is somehow in a good position. I've talked about his good social game. And because of that, he has a lot of people that like to listen to him and that consider him an ally. And HOH Jimmy is one of those people. Now, Rachel has tried to talk to Jimmy to try to get him to put him up. It didn't really work because Jimmy has told Rachel that he trusts Vince 100%. And so Rachel and Amy are trying to catch Keanu and Vince together to show Jimmy how close they are. Don't really think that's going to work in time, though. But, I mean, there is enough time until Renoms on Mondays. So, it could. I'd like Rachel's idea of targeting Vince, though. Because Vince is positioning himself well. Despite being close to some really stupid allies like Keanu and Cali. but he has more allies than just that. He's good with Kat. He's good, kind of good with Lauren. He's obviously good with Jimmy. His social game deserves some credit. Nobody, well, that's not true. I would say that Ashley has clocked Zach's good social game and how Zach is good with everyone, but nobody else is really clocking that Zach is also in a good position, at least socially. I don't think Zach is playing a good strategic game right now, outside of being the only person not telling someone about his secret power. But outside of that, Zach's not coming off as someone that's gonna be able to come up with like good strategies down the line. And I think despite being in a good position, that could hurt him eventually. We'll see though. Another thing about Rachel though is she's been very paranoid about Callie's power. She thinks it's a diamond power of Veto and that Callie could do the renom, and obviously Callie would renom Rachel because she's so hardcore after Rachel. In being paranoid, Rachel's tried to get close to Callie today, trying to work with Callie, saying that they would be a duo nobody sees coming. But Callie just ratted her out like right after that to Adrian, so this was like a hiccup from Rachel today to me. It's kind of nice to see Rachel evolve as a player, because in the past, Rachel would never do something like this. But I kind of wish she still wouldn't do something like this, because it's like pointless. It's not going to work on a weirdo like Kelly, who is just so after Rachel. And she's not a weirdo for going after Rachel. She's just a weirdo, period. I don't like her. But I don't hate her either. I like that she's an instigator. I know Ray Rush, shout out to Ray out there, doesn't like her instigating. I like her instigating. I hate her ego. She thinks she's already better than Tucker last season. And Tucker wasn't even a good player. He was a wild card. But strategically, he was stupid as shit. Kelly is similar to Tucker in that way, I suppose, if you look at it that way. But she's not this comp beast that she thinks she is because she won one comp. And she still needs to brush her teeth more, too. Adrian was the one kind of screwed by the power today, in my opinion. As I said earlier, everyone was saying, well, not everyone, but some people were saying that Adrian would have won the veto comp if not for Kaycee being in it. And thus, if Keanu and Kelly both come down and Adrian remains the only one on the block, he was the one really screwed by the twist this week. The good thing for Adrian is that his social game is on lock right now, too, in a way, because nobody seems to want him out of the house, no matter if he's on the block against anyone else this week. So Adrian's doing something right. And lastly, I just want to say I really love Ava. I still love Ava. She is so real. She's such a New Yorker. She says it like it is. I love her hatred for Keanu still being in the game this week, calling out the fact that he didn't earn the power of veto, and it sucks that he's still going to be in the house. Ava and Ashley are my two favorite people to watch on the feeds. I'm going to say that right now. They both crack me up for different reasons. I find them both fun to watch. I don't know if Ava is strategically sound either, but I think she has a pretty good social game too. So there's a lot of players with good social games this season, some with really bad social games. Don't know where the strategy is going to come in. I don't know who's going to be that person to first make me be like, yo, this is some good strategy going on. I thought it could be Adrian. It's not really. I thought Mickey could evolve from her good social game to be the strategist, but once she told Morgan about her power, her secret power, that would be far more powerful if it was kept secret, she kind of lost me with that. So yeah, nobody's really strategical sound, and I think that's good for a player like Rachel because she's never been a strategist either. That about sums it up. So yeah, like I said, I'm out of town. Still gonna be watching the feeds though. I could be having videos at random hours like this one. Don't know. I don't always want to record from this bed though, but as you can see, probably I'm tired because I've been traveling since about 6 in the morning, and it's very late right now, and I'm still awake. But I'm gonna watch some feeds, but also lay down.